It's time for some Victoria Line action. And that's it.
Victoria Line action.
Yeah. I did a work experience trip to a train station, and one of the students loves trains and knows the model of trains, how, like, the route, everything about trains, like the engines they use, and like we're on the underground, and I like to make sure they can independently travel to these places themselves as well. And they explained the whole route to me. It was great. And then as we're on the train, he goes, "It's time for some Victoria Line action." And I'm like,
that's really sweet, actually.
That's like, do you know what? It's great. You can look forward to the Victoria Line. I hate the tube in general. I like its convenience. I just hate it. It's like McDonald's being delivered. You like the convenience, but you actually hate it thoroughly. You know?
What about overground? Is that preferable?
Depends on the time of day.
Yes, that is actually
a crammed overground is the worst thing in the world.
It is. It's not great. Like 6 o'clock? Shit.
Anytime past 4 or 3.
Yeah, most pretty much, actually. Yeah. Also Friday night. Like yesterday I came back. By the way, we're at my house.
We're back in person.
Yay! Again, just for a day. I realised that this place has essentially become a summer home. For me now. Like, now that I've moved away, especially, it's like, oh, I come back here for, like, a nice place. When we go on holiday, which is why I'm here, when we go on holiday, Mum's friend will be round here for, like, a good amount of the time that we're away. So it's like a summer home for them as well. So, like, for everyone other than my mum and dad, it's a summer home. Like, they just get to visit, like, at a certain point in the year when it's really nice, and we have a really nice garden, and it's, like, in a sort of confined area and all blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
Just your home.
Airbnb it, really.
It's your home away from home. Literally.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And this is a nice room, like, the spare room that we're in now.
Which was your bedroom.
Which was my bedroom.
I don't think we spoke about this often. Like, the games you used to play in here. Like, we used to have a TV
we
behind
referenced
us.
it last time.
Yeah. We used to play, like, it was Halo and there was Smash Brothers. And I think those are the two main games.
I don't think we ever played Halo up here.
Where do you think we played Halo?
We played Halo downstairs.
Did we?
Because the old Xbox... I didn't have a TV up here for the longest time.
Oh, yeah.
We had the Xbox downstairs. And then... And I think we played Smash Brothers downstairs as well, because the Wii was there.
No, I remember me and Marlando playing Smash Bros. Up here.
We definitely did, but that was, I think, after like a year.
Yeah.
Maybe, or something like that. It was a little bit later. It's hard for me to remember. We talked about this when we did the secondary school episode, Presents one.
Probably, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, no, more so that, like, my memory of certain years is really blended together. Like, I don't know what happened in year 9 and year 8 versus year 7. Like, it's all over the fucking place. Like, I can't remember when we stopped having most of those, like, everyone comes around to my house thing. I don't even remember.
Probably, like, the last year of school. Like, the last year I was at school. Like,
well, we definitely didn't in GCSE, I'm pretty sure, anyway.
Yeah.
Like, in year 10 even. And I don't even know if we did in year 9.
No, we did in year 9 for sure.
Oh, you definitely came around in year 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the big group.
Yeah, true. I think, like, it petered off towards, like, we're talking about, like, really, like, specific things here, but, like, memories for people, like, you know,
nostalgia.
If you had, like, the groups of friends you'd hang out with in school time, it's really weird. Like, I just came back from Muay Thai sparring, and, like, there's a kid there who's, like, 14, 15, he's already, like, 6'1", 6'2"-ish. It's gonna be absolute unit,
Fucking
right?
hate that.
But, like, you know, but, like, I hate it, but also love it as well, because, like, the dumb jokes that he makes is, like, I would have made those jokes too. I'm like, do you know what? Well, the future's okay, you know? It's fine. Like, the amount of times I hear older people in their 50s be like, the kids don't go outside anymore.
Or in their 30s, to be
well, we're going to be there soon, man.
Yeah.
Like, the kids don't go outside anymore, man. They always do is sit home and play games. It's like, well, you know, let's be real here. The reason why they don't go outside anymore is because their parents have been told that they'll die if they go outside. And let's be real here. Their parents are in their 50s, just like you. So why are they afraid of sending their kids outside? Probably because of you, you know?
Yeah. You know what? I do remember, actually, after I left home, I think it was after I left home, because my mum didn't like how much I was on screens and stuff, which, fair enough, I was addicted or whatever, I'll admit. But I remember she was talking with, and I was like undiagnosed autism and stuff like that. So, you know, it's all very complicated. But then I remember she was talking to probably like I think it was someone at her work, and she was talking about how the person at their work was really happy that their like son was really into games or whatever, because it meant that they were off the street.
Yeah.
Which meant that they were like, I'm glad that I don't have to worry about my son being affected by lots of different things out there, you know, and they're black. Like, I don't want them to get like pulled up on by some random patrol officer or whatever. Like a very interestingly different perspective for my mum, and thinking about when I was a kid and what it meant I didn't get up to or didn't get in danger of or whatever.
I think my mum was like half and half. She's like, never wear your hood up.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It's like, just like, cool, great, can wear a hood up. And it's like, just, like, it's really like annoying things like that, because if you wear a hoodie, then you're automatically a gang member. Yay!
I think has that gone, like, that perception? Because now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever thought about that notion for the last, like, 10 years at least. But I swear that I remember as a kid, it was a big deal that, like, hey, you know, make sure you don't go into anywhere with a hoodie up.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, Tesco's around the corner, like, we'll do that. But, like, in general, no, you don't, like...
I think it depends on the context. Like, you see people who are wearing, like, puffer jackets and...
Maybe just wearing hoodies in general.
Like, dark jeans in, like, 25-degree heat with a hood up.
Mate, the number of people here that like fucking wear like puffer jackets.
I thought it was a racial thing because I see like black people doing it, and then I travelled more in life and I realised not everyone does it.
I think it might have. To be fair, it might have started out more like that, possibly, but I think
it's more of a people did it to conceal their face, and then it became a fashion trend. Like the amount of kids who I know or I see who wear balaclavas, they ain't even gang affiliated. They just like the idea of wearing balaclavas. You know, I was like, cool, great. So these things become fashion trends before they even do anything. Like, there's always malice behind it originally, and then it gets watered down by somebody, you know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe, like, even in Worcester, I see people who wear, like, the full black fit in summer, and it's all fixed stuff, like proper hoodie and all of that, regardless of what they're doing. Like, if they're on a bike, if they're, like, walking around, like, they're just like that, and I'm like, fuck, man, I can't do that.
I also think it's probably just, like, an evolutionary thing, because, you know, if you're from a hot country or whatever, then you're used to that. Then you're like 25 degrees isn't warm. Maybe. I don't know if evolution is the right word, but you know, like,
but most of these kids are born here.
Still.
Yeah. I don't know if it matters that much.
Like, I know people who are from Brazil who's like, it's 22 degrees and like, it's freezing cold. This is rubbish. What are you on about? Why are you guys celebrating in bikinis? What's wrong with you?
But that's acclimatization.
There we go.
That's something that we do during our life. Like, if I went to Australia, I would just get used to the temperature there, like, as a result. Like, in this, like, obviously, oh my god, I don't want to talk about British weather because this all gets into a whole thing online with people not understanding why British weather can be horrible. But, like, from a hot perspective. But, obviously, we're not hot for very much of the year. Right? So when it does happen, it's more of a bigger thing because it just, our bodies are literally not kind of pushed to.
Yeah. When shit hits 32 degrees, grandmas are dying and kids are like being left in cars, and then police officers crash, like smashing windows open.
I love the idea of people leaving kids in cars because it's really hot.
Like, it happened. I see it has happened,
tragically, but.
And just like, hey, look, like, we have to smash this window open. And it's like, how do you leave a kid in the car?
I don't know.
Anyway. Welcome to Silly Wales. It's the longest.
Oh my god, that is the longest fucking...
Yeah. We've got nearly 10 minutes. This is a mental health podcast. This podcast is for everyone, but it might not be for you. We discuss things that are relating to mental health and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything? No, I didn't. That's it.
It's not for everyone.
I've already said that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I said it's not for everyone. It's just like the exact opposite.
It's not for everyone. It is for you.
It's not for everyone, but it may be for you. I love that. Oh my god, the peaking.
This is what good editing's for.
We're just excited and happy.
I could turn the game down. Look at that.
Oh my gosh, and it will affect both of us. Yeah. So we've sort of skipped a week of journal because we did the general election special. Yeah. And So there's a few things that we'll talk about there that essentially is for that journal episode. This will be a shorter episode in general anyway.
For sure.
Not for any particular reason in terms of like because we're just hanging out, but mostly because we both got shit to do.
Yeah,
and you in more so than
I've got to wake up at like 3:30 in the morning to meet my fellow coach, and then we're going to go to Sweden and spend a week. It's going to be great. We're going to die.
Yeah.
Somehow I'm going to find time to edit this podcast and guarantee I will try my best to get it up on Tuesday. If I do that, wow, I'll be Nobel Peace Prize winner right there.
I mean, if you don't, then it's not too bad because we are going to end up not having an episode for a week anyway, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to find, because we did a present episode before, which I can't find. It's somewhere on this computer. It is. But I can't actually, laptop, but I can't actually find it. I think it's listed as a file somewhere. So when I can find that, great. Happy days. We'll probably end up missing a week by proxy of just you, because you're going away for 2 weeks.
I'm going away for 2 weeks.
I'm going away for a week.
Yeah.
So if you don't hear anything, apologies. If you see a random episode that sounds like it's recorded from like 2 months ago, that's the episode.
Yeah.
And it is a present. So you never know. You never know what you guys are going to get.
Yeah.
But the election episode got a decent amount of like good feedback straight away. I think, again, the presents episodes people seem to really enjoy.
I like presents episodes.
I think they hit differently.
I think when we just have a specific topic, there is something really
I think I was worried about it being a bit too late for the election, but I think it came just as it was starting to peter out, the whole fanfare of it all. Like, there's like a peak where everyone's talking about the election, and then no one's talking about it ever again.
I actually didn't pay attention to what the Scottish Highlands decided in the end.
I think I'm just going to assume that Labour won both. Or like...
There was a lot of Lib Dem up there.
Or like Lib Dem on something.
Yeah. Scotland has Conservative, Lib Dem and Labour, and I think they had an other, which I can't remember the name of right now. There was a few others that I learned about, like, recently. There's another one in Ireland as well. So Ireland is everywhere. There's a load of different things.
Yeah.
And considering it's only Northern Ireland, like, that's not very much... There's not a ton of constituencies there, so...
What's the guy's name? There's a guy who... Paisley, yeah, he lost his seat. Like, his great-grandfather... Like, pretty much his whole family generation held the seat.
He's had it for a long time.
Like, 100+ years, and he has lost the seat. And I'm like, well... you fucked it.
Birmingham, the guy lost it as well.
Ashworth? Jonathan Ashworth? That's Leicester.
Leicester, yeah. But Birmingham, their MP was a Muslim and has been around for a while for Labour, and now there is a more pro Palestine party that's in.
What? So it's like a.
It's an other.
Is it independent?
I believe it's independent. Yeah, it's not a Labour.
I know Jonathan Ashworth lost his seat, which I believe was in Leicester, to an independent as well. Again, based off the whole, like, being pro Palestine thing, which it's definitely shifted votes in this country. We're talking politics, Joe. We are talking politics. But here's the thing. These things are very topical moments, and this is a journal, so you get to see it. I'm going to do I feel like you have more substance to say, so I'm going to go first.
If you want to do it that way, yeah.
Yeah. Nothing's happened. I'm trying to find a new job, and I've been packing, and I've got like a desk. I'm proud of myself here, okay? If you give me anything DIY with instructions to fit up, I throw in the instructions, I just make up as I go along. Mm-hmm. That has worked 25% of the time. Now, I follow the instructions, which is difficult to do, the whole ADHD thing. We might die here. Okay? I have to read the same thing like 6 times, and I'm going, what? I don't know how to, what the fuck? What, number 5? I've just done number 4. But it looks like number 2. So, I got a desk, and it's an electronic desk. You can press a button and it goes up, press a button and it goes down.
Do you use it as a standing desk more often now?
I haven't even put it in the room yet.
Oh, I see.
I fit it up in the living room. I was like, I'm going to take it upstairs. So far, it's been fit up. It took me 3.5 hours across 2 days to do it.
Wait, where is it in your living room? Because I know what your living room looks like.
Dead center.
Oh my god. It's not like your living room is like a nice area, but it's not fucking huge.
It's,
Like,
it's dead center, and right next to it is a massive drum kit as well.
Oh my god!
I just like these are two things I've bought, and I've used a drum kit 3 times. I've just not had the time to.
Is it a full drum kit?
It's an electronic one. Yeah, it's pretty full.
Oh, but it's electronic, so it's smaller.
Slightly smaller, but like
I would hope so. I'm surprised it's not like quite a lot smaller. But
yeah, I don't know. Full big drum kit looks like it is smaller than a.
Drum kits are big. Like it's not just like height or anything. It's like actual like
width
area.
No, it's significantly smaller than a big one, but it still takes up a lot of space.
Okay.
There's a dog in that room as well, so that's fun. It's a lot. And Freya the dog is afraid of anything remotely big and black.
Perfect.
But she's also racist to white people. A white man walks in, except my brother, and she would just scream. She would not let him in the room.
Did she like white women?
I don't know. We haven't tested it out yet.
Okay.
Well, she liked the person who found her.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. You haven't mentioned.
Have I not?
No, you haven't.
Yeah, Freya escaped the other day. That was fun. That is something then cool. She escaped. And it was hilarious. It wasn't. It was terrifying. And everyone, it's just the worst thing ever when your dog runs. And I was like, great, I've lost the thing that's keeping me alive. And then a woman found her. And she was very cute. I will say this now. And
let's hope she listens to the podcast.
And you know what? That's all I want is my dog back. And I had it back, and I was like, cool, it's worked out. Bought an air tag, put it in a collar. I'm tracking her down. If someone takes her, and I'm like, oh, it's a tower block. It looks like we're going to recreate the film The Raid. And we're going to go straight through. So, yeah, dog is returned. It hopped over the fence. Lessons have been learned. And it is terrifying. Never again do I want to go through that. Would I go through it again? Most likely, yes. Because she is from Romania, and we know Romanians, we don't. But apparently they like to escape. That's in the pack. The adoption pack said, Romanian dogs love to escape. Why? Why do they love to escape? Cool. Racial profiling in general.
Very much, yeah.
We'll do it anyway.
Yeah. I'm fine with it because I don't know enough Romanians.
Yeah, and then what else happened? No, that's it, man. Honestly. Like, just...
Yeah, you're going to Sweden for a work-based thing.
I'm going for a football tournament.
Which is why we're sort of taking the week off, because if it was just both of us on holiday, I feel like we would record, because the idea is you'll get back and then we will record while I'm still in France.
Yeah, if it all works out.
Yeah.
I don't know how good the Wi-Fi is and where you're going in France.
I don't know either.
Amazing.
I think I'll be near Saint-Jean-de-Luz, which is a place in the southwest of France.
Cool.
I'll be in an apartment, so...
There should be Wi-Fi.
There will be Wi-Fi. I'm not in a country house with, like, no Wi-Fi. Fuck no. But, like, my own parents would hate that. But, like, you know, it's definitely, what do you call it? Like, it's definitely... I don't know what it will actually be like to be on Discord with it.
We'll find out.
But I can do it on my phone, so there will be an opportunity to do it. So if it can. And then that's actually nice that we have that as an option, because I'm not taking my laptop with.
Fair. What's going on in the week of Joe?
Yeah, so so last time we had the journal episode, we spoke about the job interview that I was going to have. The next episode not only came out after I'd already had the interview, because I think initially the idea was it might have been edited and out before that, so that like people could quote unquote wish me good luck. But also we didn't do a normal journal episode afterwards, so there was no actual like resolution of that. It went well. I don't want to give too much information away about what I did, only because again I'm trying to keep the name of this place and the location of it a little bit vague. But I did 2 activities, very different activities. The first one was mostly just, and it was from 12 to 5. So, you know, I was on there for 5 hours. I basically did half of a day's work, a little bit over half a day's work, like in that interview. But having said that, I wasn't obviously doing too much work. The first one was mostly just getting me kind of in the situation, interacting with the kids, kind of getting an idea of what it looks like to run a session, which a session is about like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. I can't remember because I didn't have my phone in my pocket, so I wasn't checking it. And then the second one actually involved me doing like some safety stuff. So I was doing a session, but I was doing a session where someone was the guy who was basically doing most of the interaction with me that day was watching me, like having told me how to do a safety thing, was then watching me to make sure I did it every single time and things like that. And like I'm using, because it's like outdoor activity stuff, I'm using like rope stuff and cabineers and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm having to tell the kid, like, you know, tell a kid like, oh, I want you to do a test to make sure that it's okay and things like that. And which is also me making sure that they've actually done it correctly and things like that. So there was a little bit of a, oh God, I really don't want to fuck up this process. But the process is actually not too difficult. It's just, and I'm quite good at picking up steps, like in that way. I just get in my own head more so about it than anything else. But I really enjoyed it. I actually did enjoy it, and I enjoyed interacting with the kids. And I said in the informal, quote unquote, interview after doing the two activities, I said to them like, oh, you know, I currently work in a job where I interact with adults, and I much prefer interacting with kids than adults. Because adults in a shop are generally kind of shitty mostly. They're not always like that. Like, it's just a case of adults can be... You know what's funny, actually? Adults tend to be quite neutral a lot of the time, which is just very boring, and sometimes people are very neutral in moments where I feel like a little bit of gratitude would be nice, or... You know, like someone who basically says nothing when you help them do something or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like kind of just looks miserable the entire time you're serving them and things like that. Like, which I have no problem with people expressing themselves the way they want to, but you see it a lot. And sometimes you can tell that there is not even a thought in some people's minds about whether they were going to say thank you or do anything, or like anything to kind of interact with you on a polite basis like that.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because like,
you
don't want to judge someone for not interacting with you.
I'm not really judging them.
But also, you don't want to be like, can someone say thank you, please? Like when I'm being a cyclist, and I make the point to stop for people at crossings and things like that. 25% of people say thank you. And
that annoys me.
And after a long day, having like someone walk by and just like blanket stare. But if it was a car, they would say thank you. It's like, cool. Great, say thank you. But I also realized two things. As a cyclist, things are more personal because they can see all of me. Like, there's not like a massive vehicle covering me.
You're not like
a threat.
You're not over a ton in weight.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. Well, give me time. like, you know. I just, so I get it. And when someone says thank you to you on a bike, it kind of hit, like, you see a lot more of them. But if you, like, say thank you in your car, you're seeing a lot less of them. It's like, but people feel, whenever someone says thank you to me when they're crossing the road, they outwardly say the words thank you. Mm-hmm. Rather than put the hand up. Because I'm right there. Yeah,
because you can hear them. Yeah. Rather than in a car, you don't really know how, like, they're also further away from you, generally.
Yeah.
And, like, I have that thing, by the way, since you mentioned it, when I realize that I do this all the time. When I say thank you to someone in a car, I don't look at them. I don't, because I think the way I look at a car is I look at somewhere on the top of the bonnet. You know what I mean? Like the...
Thanks, MG.
Yeah, like I'm kind of looking almost at the license plate and the lights more than I'm looking at like the actual window and stuff. Even though I have time to look at the window, it's like where I'm looking is the active front of the car, because I'm still kind of like in the mode of thinking, oh, I need to know what the speed of this car is right now, like the object that is in front of me. I need to see what the closest part is because I know it can hit me.
I didn't realize how stereotypical things, like, the only thing, the clearest stereotypes, English, motherfucker. I do not speak it.
England.
The hardest, like, the most true stereotypes, there we go, is car drivers. Teslas are the worst drivers I've ever witnessed in my entire life. It's a stereotype. It was built up because Elon Musk...
BMW drivers.
Do you know what? Teslas have overtaken them.
You think so?
Yeah, in public perception. If you drive a Tesla, you're an idiot.
No fucking way.
Because
no
BMW
way.
is heritage, okay? But Tesla's brand new.
No, that makes it worse, it being heritage.
That's the thing. But we all know that BMWs are supposed to be like dickish. But Teslas, they're piece of shit cars anyway. Okay, so we know that you're being like shortchanged.
Sure.
Okay, so we know that if you own them, you probably have a good amount of money. But with BMWs, my brother's a BMW. He's not mega rich, but he has a BMW. You can get a BMW fairly cheap. So the idea of it being a prestigious car is only as good as the model of BMW you get. But once upon a time, BMWs are hard to acquire. They're like fabulous cars. Teslas, though, you know they cost money. Right? So you know the guy driving them has some sort of money or has really good credit, but he won't have it for that much longer. They are diabolical cars. And who drive them are equally as diabolical. The Hague is awaiting them, okay? But there's a backlog of people who are war criminals.
But does that make it worse, though, that if you know that the car isn't that good, it's not as bad as saying, well, the car is very good, so clearly the driver is the one that's the problem.
Because, like, Teslas...
Like with a Beamer, that is how everyone, I think, feels.
Because with BMWs, you can tell, and you can also hear them coming. Teslas are fairly quiet.
Yeah, that's an issue with that's a safety issue.
But also, because they can't drive.
For years,
like that's even worse. Like Priuses are awful as well.
Yeah, people don't like Priuses.
Because like Priuses are a cab driver car. I think in America they're more seen as the
that is an Americanization, idea I have.
Yeah, like
of a Prius, but
I think in America they're actually seen as more of a family car. But over here they're just the most common like mini cab. Like Uber style thing. Like cab drivers in general are shite, but Teslas, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like we have a little gap where cyclists can go, and they're at the front of the queue at a traffic light, easy. Without a shadow of a doubt, a Tesla will just drive right up in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's pretty much underneath the traffic light at this point. So you're looking up like this. That's what you're doing, Tesla. That's what you're doing. Okay? And like I had a guy like enter my little cyclist box, and like he came this close to hitting a random little woman on her bike. I was like, yeah, I can't. Like, look at you. And I was just gonna go along my merry way, but the woman who was right beside me, she chose violence. And she just pedaled as slow as humanly possible. And he couldn't get past. And he was swerving left and right. I'm like, this guy. I was in a rush to go somewhere. But for those few minutes, I wasn't, because I also had to slow down. I was like, nah, you can wait, Mr. Tesla, man. You can wait. Mr. Tesla. Yeah, like, just, I don't know, in general. I think also just because the cult of Elon Musk as well.
Yeah, that doesn't help. Like, there's a genuine...
It's like...
God, it is so fucking annoying.
Like, the thing is, there's things like, you see them talk about how bad the car is, but they go... But I love my Tesla still. I'm just waiting for it to get repaired for the 14th time. Maybe it's not a good car then, Maybe it's not a good car. Maybe.
I mean, they might... I hope they actually get better in the sense that... Well, no. What I actually hope is that, like, another company ends up kind of taking the reins of electric cars and making them better than Tesla.
They already exist.
I know, like, I think I want it to be wider spread, like, in that way.
I think we're moving to it... we know nothing about cars, by the way.
No, neither of us.
Like, we know nothing, but also I know that, like, hybrid cars are a thing. Nissan and Toyota have their brand of electric cars. Like, they exist, and they're doing somewhat well. Tesla. Got us yawning. But yeah.
We both saw did
like, it's just so stupid. And there's so many little things that just annoy me and frustrate me about car drivers, okay?
Yeah. Oof. It would be nice. I mean, in Sweden, where are you near a city in Sweden?
Gothenburg.
Does it have like a main? I assume it has like a main transport system.
Yeah, they have trams and stuff there.
Yeah, I know Sweden has. I've seen videos of Sweden. Like Sweden looks lovely. Like the Nordic countries in general, I really want to go to. And
that's why I was itching to go.
Yeah,
Norway is next.
Where have you been then? Have you just been Sweden? Is this Sweden the first one?
Scandinavian country?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't been Denmark?
No.
No. I'd have thought in my head, but I think that was just my niece that went to.
Yeah, I know I wanted to go into Scandinavia. I was hoping that like football would take me there. It has. Look at that, boom.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah,
that's really
like,
cool.
That's fun. By the time you hear this, I'll either be midway through a tournament or I'll be like just finishing it and regretting how I haven't got this episode up yet. But yeah,
I assume there's no coverage of it.
You can actually watch it all, but like for the privacy of myself and my football team.
No, I was thinking for myself mostly.
Oh yeah, there is. There's like a whole link and a whole app and all that stuff.
Sure.
And like if you're privy enough to football, you can probably figure it all out. And you wouldn't know which team I am though, so go fuck yourself up with that. Yeah. But yeah, like you can watch the whole tournament. The Gothia Cup is like thousands of teams there. Teams from like Peru are going to show up and they show up with flares. Teams from Brazil, all of Africa's there. Like that's where they find. Yeah, like that's where they find a whole bunch of like African footballers to sign. They go, oh, this guy looks good.
Oh, these are the kind of places for talent.
He is 6'7" and he's 14. We need to sign him. And sign his brother too because he's 5'3" and faster than anybody we have ever. Help.
I actually want to talk a little bit about football. So I'll finish off my work thing and then we'll go into that because it is actually because you are actually an interesting person to talk about because you know football. Most of the time when I talk to people about it, I'm like, like because there are certain people where it's like, yeah, this is very much your opinion, and I don't think you have very much of a sense of what football is really like or whatever. Because I don't either, so I can see bullshit, understand bullshit. Yeah. So to end off, like. I think everything went well as far as the interview is concerned and all of that stuff. I won't find out information until the end of July. So maybe at the end of my holiday, I'll kind of find out. And there's the possibility of like cheap accommodation, which will make things a lot easier if it is available. It would be so much more off of my chest to be able to do that, because then that will literally cut the money I spend every month by like because this is not like a high paying job. Like it will cut it down to, I mean, compared to right now, it will cut it down to almost 50%. It'll be like 55-60% in theory of what I'm spending now, which is actually probably more now that I think about it, because I am quite good at budgeting. Yeah, actually way more now that I think about it, way more. Because I probably spent like, I don't spend that much on things like food comparatively. Even though I have been spending more on food recently because I've actually been eating healthily. Yeah, and cooking for myself, which has been really nice.
What did you do before?
I just didn't eat like great food. Like I didn't eat a lot of vegetables and things like that. Like I would eat vegetables, but not that much. And it would be like, and I would cook for myself. I always cook for myself, but I don't cook like proper meals for myself a lot of the time. Like I will on occasion.
Pasta with pesto, done.
Yeah, like that would be like a simple meal, right? That's honestly a more expensive meal, to be honest, because pesto is just not that cheap.
It lasts for a very long time.
Once you open it, not so much, I don't think. But when you
but like you can get multiple uses out of it. I mean, like
you can. Yeah. I do like it very pesto-y.
The whole jar.
Yeah, I kind of do. Like, sometimes I'm like, I've already taken out 70% of the jar. I'm not going to use the rest of this. Fuck it, I'll just chuck it in. But yeah, so that's actually been nice. You know how I talked about like a couple of weeks ago that that I've had like this kind of mindfulness shift and like things feel a little bit better for me?
Yeah.
And I've actually managed to carry it over to now. Like, it's still going a little bit. It's weird because I still do things where I like feel shit or are not good for me or whatever. But there is a distinct difference in the way it's affecting me. Like I almost can feel shit, but then at the same time I'm like, and now you've had the experience of feeling shit. Now let's move on. Kind of thing. And it's like, it's like water off a duck's back kind of thing. It's that kind of like, it's not going away, but it's like being able to compartmentalize it. I think is the wrong word, because I don't think I'm like going, okay, I'll deal with that later or whatever, and just continuously doing it. It's more like I'm going, okay, that was a bad thing. All right, let's just move on. Like, you know, like I'm accepting it and it's going.
Yeah.
You know, there's a flow, which is a really nice feeling. And it didn't start with me like eating properly and things like that, but it is one of the reasons why I've been doing that. Like why I feel like I have more energy or more capacity to not get it over my to not get so much in my head that when I have like low moments that I can't just go, hey, well, now you can do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like actually do something about it. So it's actually been quite a positive experience for me recently. Which I'm going to try and be very, very good for the holiday. I'm going to try and enjoy the holiday for the holiday as much as possible. Like, you know, the fact that I'm in a new not a new country, I'm going to France. I've been there before. And it's an old country. But I'm, you know, going to France, which, you know, is a different country to what I normally live in, experiencing all of that. It also a slightly different area. I've been to the south of France, but not quite in the areas that I'm going to now, which will be really, really nice. And just the amount of time that I'm away, it's a really good opportunity to kind of like dig in and stuff. Doing probably lots of morning walks with Dad. I need to make sure I wake up early. Really.
He will leave you behind.
He wakes up at like 7 every day. Like I don't think in my entire lifetime, I don't think my dad's woken up at any point past 7:30. Like I genuinely can't think of a moment where he has not been awake at a very, very early time. I obviously like maybe 8 o'clock, you know, on a irregular
On a Sunday.
No, Dad's up on a Sunday. Dad works on Sunday.
Fair, yeah.
Dad works almost every day, basically. Yeah, so you know, it's very much a busy person. But it means on holiday it's actually quite nice because he wakes up and then he has all of the time alone to himself to do whatever. But I know he really likes doing walks and morning walks and stuff, so that would be a good thing to do. And we're in cities and stuff like that, so or like near cities at least, so there'll be lots of stuff to check out. Yeah, so football.
That's American football.
Yeah. Obviously, we're recording this the day before the end of the Euro, right?
That's on Sunday.
Oh, it's on Sunday, so 2 days.
I think. Don't know.
I thought it was Saturday. That's what the guy in my house was saying.
Let's see. I could be wrong. English to Spanish. It's on Sunday.
It is on Sunday. Okay. It makes sense. It was on Sunday last week.
I can't remember.
I think it was.
Who knows?
It doesn't matter. I don't really care about England being in the finals or anything like that. Like that is not a thing that I like care about.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see England's matches up to the last one.
The Netherlands.
The one against, yeah. Which I thought was actually quite good. And people were saying that like a lot of the matches were shit with England.
Yeah.
Previously. Which is kind of a crazy thing. Then I came in on a moment where they actually looked really good. Like it felt like the young players were doing a lot of stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Don't want to get too much into football talk, but I am curious from your perspective, because we were in like I've learned things about this cup. Like, we were in like a really easy half. Like our bracket was really easy, and compared to the other side where it's like, you know, France and Spain and Germany and Portugal.
Yeah.
All of them over there. Like real stacked side, and then it's like England's like, I'm just going to get to second. Which obviously we might win. I don't know. What is your take on the whole thing? Like the whole, like just, I guess England in this Euro Cup.
I forgot there is something bigger happening in my world of football too. Do you know what? I whenever people have like, we had an easy group, I reject that notion. It's a major tournament. It's always going to be difficult. Regardless of how and who you face in a major tournament, it's going to be difficult. So you have to prepare and play accordingly. Like, people are unhappy with England's performances because we didn't score like 5 or 6 goals, or we like squeaked past and things like that. Just opening up a big one. That's going to sound great. Oh, look at that. Joe opened a Carlsberg.
I should have actually just opened it next to the mic. I did it under the table, but it actually did sound nice, so that would have been...
It sounded nice to me anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, like football is like it's such a hard sport to win consecutive games in. especially in a knockout tournament. You lose the game, you go home. So the idea that, oh, look, England played badly. We're here. We're in the final. So we played well enough. Should we have probably beaten Switzerland in normal time?
Oh, we did also see Switzerland.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, sure. Should we have played better? Yeah, sure. But we're here. So that's all that really matters at the end of the day. This is very much tournament games are results only.
Mm-hmm.
We have to reject the idea that, oh, we're not playing the most attractive football, so we don't like it. Like, there's a level of entitlement that English fans have, and it's like beyond absurd because we're not that good.
We chatted about this, yeah.
We've never been that good. We lose despite having, quote unquote, the best teams on paper. We don't. Like, people were saying, we should have won like this Euros here, we should have won this World Cup here. The years that Spain won, I'm like, did you not see how good Spain was? And how good France was? We were never the best team. So, like, we were lucky to be considered the top 5 team in like retrospect, looking in those mid-2000 years as well. Like, the quote-unquote golden generation. Yeah, that's because we saw those players play week in, week out, because they all play in the Premier League.
Yeah.
We forget how good Italy was, we get how good Spain was, how good France was, and how good they are now. Like, we are doing ridiculously well, and Southgate has been doing ridiculously well as well. Like, back-to-back European finals. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, he gets a lot of hate, right?
Yeah, because again, like we sometimes we don't play the most attractive football. Sometimes we lack that attacking edge. But I think the context is key sometimes. I think that the reality is that we don't really know why they play a certain way. It could be because, something as simple as energy consolidation. We don't want to overexert ourselves. It could be something as simple as, they fucked up and they planned wrong. And you don't get everything correct. They're shitting on Southgate's substitutions. He doesn't make them quick enough. He's not tactically smart. He made a great substitution by bringing on Ollie Watkins.
Yeah.
And Cole Palmer. And then they contributed and scored. With Cole Palmer setting up Ollie Watkins.
Cole Palmer almost scored. Yeah. And then Watkins did score in the 90
something minute, yeah.
Yeah.
Assisted by Cole Palmer.
Yeah. And
then they're still going to say, so he didn't make the right subs. He did. And 9 times out of 10, he does. I'm going to make a guess and say that when it comes to managing an international football team, Southgate knows more than probably anyone, 99% of the people talking about him. Like, you'll be shocked. I remember when the final whistle went, the first thing I put in a few group chats I'm in is, hey, look at that. Southgate knows how to manage a football team. Who would have thought, eh? So yeah, that's it. Like, our expectations need to be tempered. We have this entitlement that we should win everything. We've never won since 1966. So why are we acting like we deserve to win something?
Yeah, that's... I said this to you and I said this to... Like, I talked about how the people I live with are Polish, and I talked about, like, what my perspective on why I think English people have such a weird relationship with their team. And I was like, I think the reason why English people complain so much about our team, yet expect so much, is because they think that England is good. Like, really good. Like, way higher than they actually should be. Like, they give them way too much credit. Yeah. And, like, have way too much of an idolized belief of how good not the England team is, but England is. You know what I mean? It's not the English team. I don't think... I think that, like, obviously there's analysis about, is the England team good this year or not as good this year? That's fine. But I think it's like, it doesn't matter. Even if the England team isn't that good for the year, it's like, oh no, England's great, isn't it? Like, England's the best. Like, that's just what people think. And it's like... And it's so high that it means that everyone complains about England all the fucking time.
So, like, they want Southgate out. Okay, cool. Replace him with who? No one can give a straight, solid answer. They go, Eddie Howe manages Newcastle. Why? He just looks like he'll do a good job. No one can actually give a thorough reason why those guys should take control.
Yeah.
Whenever I suggest somebody really left field, like, I'll say, like, former Nottingham Forest manager Steve Cooper. Why? He has experience in the role of coaching, like, the youth players there.
Yeah.
Or, like, I think, like, Lee Carsley. he coaches the under-21s who won the Euros. That's a good enough reason. That same methodology worked out for Spain, who are in the final. The manager of Spain was the youth team manager as well. So that makes sense. If we're going to follow that same ideology, we should probably do that as well. Why? It's worked for Spain. It'll probably work for us too. But again, I'm going to pivot to my other country, the main country I support for international football, the USA. I've never wanted a manager to be sacked before. Like, never in my whole time being a football fan. I watched Arsene Wenger. I wanted to stay. I cried when he left because he's a manager I grew up with. But also, like, I didn't say anything wrong, you know? I just, you know, it is what it is. But happy with Arteta, but I'm like, if Arsene Wenger wanted to manage Arsenal right now, I would be like, I don't care. Give us 4th place finishes all the time, I don't care. However, USA had a manager called Greg Berhalter, and one could call him a Nepo baby as well, because his brother was part of the hiring process of that. The United States national team is, a lot of people are saying it's a golden generation. I don't believe so. The reason why I don't believe so is because a lot of the players who are apparently golden don't actually play that much for their club teams. And in general, they just aren't as good as people say they are. There's this idea that USA should be like competing and getting to the semi-finals of the World Cup. No, we shouldn't.
They're the same problem we do.
Yeah, but we're new because it's very new. It's like a whole, we're new to the sport, so we should be winning it because we win everything. Reality, USA don't win much internationally. They don't win baseball internationally because Japan.
No, Japan beats them, right?
Because Japan, yeah. Like, they've started to compete in the Cricket World Cup and they did surprisingly well. So guarantee next time it happens, it rolls around, they go, like, we're going to win base cricket or whatever it's called, guys. Like, they're going to say that as well. Like, you know, because there's the expectation that, hey, we win everything, right? Reality, they don't. They don't win much, actually. So, like, here we are. They think that this, like, the United States soccer team should really win. The men's soccer team isn't as good as, I don't think it's very good. I think the players are really good, but I think the coach actually held them back. Greg Berhalter didn't really coach at a super high level. He got sacked from a job in the second division of Sweden, I believe it is, actually.
Oh, wow.
Like, it just tracked. And the football was very much like it felt like the players were playing their version of football. Mm-hmm. So there wasn't really a strong ideology with it. I was like, what are they actually doing here? And like, mentally as well, it felt like he was a really good speaker, but also he couldn't handle a lot of criticism either, which is a really like tough thing as an international manager because there's a lot of additional stress on you because you're representing the whole country, right?
Yeah. Like,
you represent a football team and you like lose 5-0, you can hide for a week and come back out next week. You lose 5-0 as an international manager, you let a whole country know what the fuck's wrong with you, man.
Yeah.
Like,
and there's a lot of people who don't really care if a particular manager of a club, you know, is shit because it doesn't really affect them in any way.
The whole country.
But the whole country is like, why do I have to deal with this this manager who manages this club that I don't like? You know, like, there's an even greater like kind of level of like, why isn't my guy who's better like doing it, for example?
Yeah, I remember supporting USA, of course, in like primary school and secondary school. Everyone would laugh at me because, oh my god, like, you know, like we'll get knocked out in the group stage of the 2006 World Cup, I think, despite like playing half decently. And then like we had like a crazy moment with Landon Donovan scoring in South Africa, or Brazil, I can't remember which one it was actually. No, it was South Africa, 2010 World Cup, and that was crazy. And like,
oh yeah.
And I was like it was my profile picture on Facebook for ages. Like, just that celebration moment. We had the draw of England as well. In I think it was also South Africa, actually, the Rob Green mistake or whatever it is. So the little moments I've taken on as really big, huge moments, you know? When we drew 1-1 with, was it 1-1 or 0-0 with England in the Qatar World Cup? I was like, tears in my eyes. Like, yeah, look at that, we're competing. And we should have actually beaten England.
It was 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1.
It was 1-1.
We should have beaten England. We played better than England. That was one of the moments where I'm going, maybe this England team is cooked. England went on to have a decent World Cup. They lost to the second best team in the world. So, you know, it works out well. We got absolutely mollywopped in that World Cup by Netherlands. It's 3 or 4-1. And it was just like, oh, there's levels to this game. And that's when I realized, I'm going to temper my expectations.
Mm.
Also, managerially, we cannot handle any sort of adversity at all. And I was like, we might need to change our manager because we're going to host the World Cup. Just like we hosted Copa America, Joe. Copa America is like all of these American, like all the Americas come together. Let's have fun. Let's have a party. USA hosted it. Terrible pictures in America, but also just in general, the infrastructure to host a major tournament was under threat.
When you say America, do you mean all the Americas?
All the Americas, yeah.
So Brazil and Argentina as well, okay.
So like it's like the equivalent of the Euros, but for the Americas.
Yeah, the full continent.
The CONCACAF.
Yeah.
So we got knocked out in the group stage on home soil. We lose and we drew to the teams like Panama and Bolivia, and for some reason we just capitulate against every single team possible. Canada, who's managed by the true American, my uncle Jesse Marsh. He's not actually my uncle, but I wish he was. Actually made it through, beat Venezuela in the first knockout game and lost to Argentina. Like, guys, that's the best team, if not the best, the best team in the world at the moment. They won the fucking World Cup, guys. So, we kept Greg Berhalter, rejected a good manager who's American as well, in Jesse Marsh, and now we have to sack Berhalter, and we don't have a manager to replace him. We went for Jurgen Klopp, guys. He's retired. So now we're looking for a replacement. The only person who I can actually think we can actually significantly go for, who actually do a half-decent job, is me. So, I'm putting my hat in the ring. Okay? It's time I step up for my country that I don't even own a passport for, because I can't bother to do it. Can't bother to become a citizen. No. So...
Not yet.
You know, I can't bother. It's a process.
Yeah.
Too many forms to fill out. But, like, there's not many managers. I'm like, oh, God. And mentally, I'm looking at this, I'm quivering. I'm like, oh, my God, 2026 is going to come around, and I'm just going to be embarrassed at a pub watching USA lose to, like, I don't know, at this point, because there's, like, 48 teams in the World Cup, Eritrea. like
Djibouti.
Like, you know, like, hey, Djibouti will fuck everybody up, you know. Like, oh, we're going to lose to, like, I don't know, Micronesia at this point, okay? Like, it's going to hurt. If you're watching this and or listening to this and you're going, they spoke about football for 20 minutes, help me. Well, that is the reality of a mental health podcast, okay? This is on my mind. To
be fair, I think, so I wanted to bring it up a little bit because I have because I did eventually want to kind of reconcile that there is something nice about football. And I didn't think I would say that because I've never enjoyed football as a thing in my life, right? It's not been a part of my life. But there is something about, I think there is something about, because also like when I watched it, I was watching it with someone who also is kind of like me, doesn't watch football like super regularly, but just kind of enjoys it, right?
Yeah.
Like when they do. And something like a tournament like this is fun. There's something about like things that everyone is kind of in on to a certain extent, or most people are in on, to just experience, which is, you know, considering that most of the time stuff like that happens is, you know, is like maybe New Year's. I think it's probably the closest thing that feels like that as a general thing.
Well, like you saw it firsthand.
Or the election, I guess.
Arsenal versus Bournemouth. I was watching on my phone. We went for like a walk. I think we went to Classic Football Shows that day, and we stopped at a pub to like try and watch it.
Oh on my phone. Yeah.
And when Reece Nelson scored the last minute goal, like you saw the emotion that came from me alone, as well like other people in the pub. I was like, Jesus Christ, like what a day to be alive! It was a great moment. Like, like those feelings of like euphoria. I remember watching it like with my ex in Calais while we're crossing a road and Arsenal losing like 3-1 or whatever. And I'm just like, it's the worst day of my life. Like the general emotion, you know, and I'm not like a guy who's angry after we lose, and I'm like, you know, or like, you know, it's always the whenever like England loses a game, they tend to play like a weird like angry anti-domestic violence advert afterwards because they know what's going to happen. Oh, there's some people who are just very intrinsically linked to football where they have to take out their anger at a team underperforming on their friends and family.
Like they're invested in a very obsessive way.
That's not me, but I know so many people who actually were like that, you know. Oh, England lost the game. I have to lock myself away from my wife and child now, or I'm going to like lose my shit. Really? Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I think that in a way, there's so many aspects to this, but like, like, firstly, football is a nerdy thing. Football's a nerd thing.
It is.
We'll be finishing soon, I'm pretty sure, right?
Oh yeah, I'm just typing in
Yeah.
Silly Wells chat because I want to do a Silly Wells present on football itself.
Okay. It's a very nerdy thing. Like, it is a nerd thing. Like, completely. It's just like video games and shit like that. Like, it's exactly the same. The amount of stuff that someone like you can tell me, or like, you know, Boyo can tell me. I realize I don't want to say his name just in case, but you know, like yeah, or like or
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Like the amount of details you can fucking shoot at me about it shows that it's a nerd thing, right? It's exactly like that, and the passion involved is very nerdy as well.
Oh yeah.
It's exactly the same. The amount to which people fucking complain about Gareth Southgate is very nerdy. It all fits, right? It's just a different kind of aesthetic than what most like nerd stuff tends to be.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine because it's nice to be passionate about stuff and everything. And truly, like, I am not invested at all. Like, if England wins, I have no investment. If England loses, I have no investment. I don't. But I enjoy watching a good game, right? I enjoy a game where it's fun to watch. And I also enjoy the experience of watching with other people and being able to appreciate it.
Yeah, that's the best.
And so, like, whether you like or don't like football, what's interesting is whether it's not necessarily like a case of enjoying the football for the football. It's more about, can you appreciate what's happening in the moment of the interaction you're having with other people and and trying to get like, and also just how excited people are by it, you know?
Yeah.
And it's nice to be around someone like you where you're excited by it, and I'm not like, you know, and I'm not thinking to myself, oh God, like if this, I'm hanging out with you, and then if they lose, like I'm gonna have to.
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, man.
Well, yeah, or even just like you're gonna be like a fucking stroppy person or whatever, or like be a baby, right? It's nice to it's nice to be with people who are passionate about stuff in that way, right? Because I don't find that a lot in myself, so I do enjoy it. But fuck yeah, I really hate like the people who take it way too seriously, and it starts like. It feels like their life is being messed up by the experience, like the bad experience of it, you know?
Same with everything though. Like,
and they set it up that way.
Like,
but
same, I think it applies to like music as well, like, or the whole Kendrick-Drake beef as well. I've run into a few OVHOs in the last few weeks. Yeah, like, who live and die by whatever Drake does. And I didn't really realize it until I made a reference to it. Because, you're on Team Kendrick. I'm like, it's not about teams here. It's about just how funny it all is.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the general enjoyment here. Like, there's a passion.
Yeah, truthfully.
People are excited about something. It's a coming together of a moment. It's someone who probably had it coming, having it coming. And like, we're vibing. It's not an attack on you as an individual. Like, your favorite guy is being attacked. So calm down. It's not always about you. You know?
Yeah.
Same with, like, Formula One. Like, you like Lewis Hamilton. How could you like Lewis Hamilton?
I will say, I'm going to struggle to enjoy watching Formula One with people.
I watched the last 5 laps of every race and then go, yeah, look, that's cool. That was it.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. Like, here's the thing. I can appreciate football watching it. I can't really appreciate Formula One personally. And that's a personal thing. If someone gave me free tickets to
go, I would definitely go. But I wouldn't, like...
And it's not that I don't appreciate how skilled the skill involved. It's I don't appreciate what I'm looking at. Like I can't like look at what I'm looking at and be like, oh yeah, that was really good. It's a bit too distant.
This might sound really stupid, right? But I don't really get going to a live Formula One event because you only see them fly past like a nanosecond.
Isn't that kind of the thing of like marathons or not marathons? I mean, there's definitely a reason to go to like a marathon or whatever, but like there's certain like long races where it's like, you see them go by in a flash, and then that's it. It's over. And it's like what do
being
we
at
do
the
now?
start of a marathon, yay, and they're gone.
Like the Tour de France. Like when we went on holiday where there was a Tour de France going through an area, and so we saw it at one point, and it's like, wow, that was over. Like that's it. It's done. Like it went through that village, and then they were off and away. But there's so much celebration around it. There's so much like set up and organizing of it, and people kind of get crazy to the point of slightly fucking with the race, like on occasion, as you'll see like highlights of like someone doing something stupid, or like the Isle of Man fucking
where everyone dies.
Yeah, which is just like, fuck me, like why are you getting involved? Like sure, if you want to watch it or like be on that bend, sure, but like get the fuck out of the way. Like, you know, I wouldn't want to be going at like 140 miles an hour or more, like 200. I think it does go like as high as 200.
I don't know.
It's insane.
Like cargo room.
Yeah, no, but
was it motorbikes?
Motorbikes. Well, what did you say?
Cargo room.
No, it's motorbikes. The cars can't go that fast, like that way. They would every time there's a turn, they would slow down way too much.
People have their tribalistic nature, how they view things, and it's not that big.
It's not that big.
As we yawned for the last time, as we put this podcast to a close, it's bad that I'm tired now. Especially given that I have other things to do today.
Yeah, you have to leave in like 3 minutes.
Yeah, and then I also have to be like up at 3 o'clock as well.
This ended up being longer than we thought.
Yeah, it meant to be half an hour.
Yeah, so this was nice. This was just casual.
This might be the worst episode we've ever made, or the best one. Who knows?
Yeah,
we're in the middle of the road. Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, we'll be away for a week and then we'll come back. And
if I find a Jordan Peterson episode, that's what it's called effectively.
It does have a slightly different title, I think.
It does,
but yes,
that's the code name for it.
Which, yes, by the way, that is what the content of it is. It's to do with.
It's all about Jordan Peterson. The whole thing.
Definitely not anything.
4 hours.
4 hours.
Jordan Peterson.
Such a long down. Oh, well, actually, no. These days, upload isn't that big a deal, but such a big upload.
Such a big edit.
Such a big edit.
Just a big edit.
Needed a whole like secondary hard drive.
Yep. A whole new laptop. 2 laptops running at the same time. With that being said, we're going to take 2 steps to the rear and get out of here. We're in the wind. See ya.
Love you all. Enjoy your summer.